Hello comrades, this is yours Kayveeyes. In this episode, we are going to discuss about the gist of rules in Volume VII, only on the point of examination. Moreover, Volume VII is very much particular for the examination of sorting assistant. The gist of the rules are dealt in detail. It may be purposeful for the candidates who are writing the sorting assistant examination also. Let us go to the subject. Each set of a sorting office is divided into 4 departments. The departments of a set of a sorting mail office. This is rule number 1. The DBO stands, that is called a district back office. The sorting assistant who is attending to registration department of the mail office is called as a registration sorting assistant. The daily report of MBC bar sections are received by seniors or superintendent of RMSs. For the purpose of back account, the PO is a unit back office. Memo of authorized back balance is issued by the senior superintendent or superintendent of PO RMS, and diagram of a sorting case is prepared by the SRM. A mail office may redirect any article or intercept or deliver any article to the addressee on the authority of the Director General or head of the circle. Rule number 4. Except on the authority of the DG Post or head of the circle, a set may not sort out any article. Rule number 4. Except on the authority of the DG Post or head of the circle, a set may not reclose any bag. Information from RMS records asked for by any government officer be given with the specific orders of the head of the circle. Rule number 5. Whenever the regular accommodation provided in a train is inadequate for the carriage of all mails, the mail agent or mail guard will apply to the railway authorities for such extra accommodation as may be necessary. Rule number 8. At stations where a record officer or mail agent is available with the request for extra accommodation should be made by the record officer or mail agent. Misconnection of mail buses, trains and air services at junction stations and airports should invariably be reported to the superintendent as early as possible by record officers established at these places. Rule number 9. The misconnection between air services should invariably be reported by record officer to the head of circle by first post. Rule number 9. Metal token are supplied by the department and that is an authority for them to be present in the mail van or reserved compartment or on the railway platform for exchange of mails, and it should be shown on demand to railway guards or ticket examiner. Rule number 9. Circulars of the head of the circle are issued by monthly, which bear heading and have a consecutive annual series of number. These circulars are issued and forwarded to all supervising officers and record officers and should be filled in guard books. Rule number 10. Orders issued by heads of circle for the general information and guidance of the RMS officials are published in their monthly circulars. Rule number 10. Monthly circulars of RMS record officers should be destroyed after 3 years. Rule number 10. No sorting assistant can be efficient unless he knows the due mail list by heart. Rule number 12. One has to by heart the due mail list. The mail abstract is maintained in mail office in Form M43. Rule number 12. If the sorting list is lost, no sum is recovered from the official as nominal cost of the sorting list before a new copy is supplied. Rule number 30. Metal token has to be returned if the sorting assistant goes on leave, transferred to other HRO, or dismissal or removal from services. Rule number 40. A metal token authorized to type must be carried by all RMS officials except to supervising officers. Rule number 14. A metal token is supplied by the record officer concerned. Rule number 14. If metal token is lost, it should be reported at once to the record officer. Rule number 14. On demand, all the RMS officials who travel in a vehicle or compartment reserved for the RMS may show to the railway guard and ticket examiners the metal token. Rule number 14. The memorandum of distribution of work is issued by the superintendent of RMSs. Rule 16. The memorandum of distribution of work is issued to HRO or SRO when more than one official work in an office or a section by the superintendent RMS. Rule 16. The memorandum of distribution of work in the case of a mail office or section is initially prepared by the inspector. The period of preservation of invoices of articles received from stock depot is 3 years. Rule number 17. Preservation period of order book of mail office and section is 3 years. Work paper of RMS officers and section is 18 months. Correspondence related to robberies, theft, etc. is 1 year after the case is closed. Rule number 70. The record not to be destroyed without the special permission of the head of the circle. Number 1. Order book of a record office. Nominal role of a token holder. Work paper regarding when inquiry is in progress and not fully decided. Rule number 17. Order book of a record office in the RMS are not to be destroyed without the special permission of the head of the circle. Rule number 17.2. Work papers regarding which inquiry is in progress, connected with the cases which have not been fully decided or closed, are not to be destroyed without special permission of the head of the circle. Whenever the nominal role of token holders are to be destroyed, the destruction should be effected by tearing them into pieces in the record officer's presence. Rule number 17.2. The order book of a record office. It may not be destroyed without the special permission of the head of the circle. Rule 17.2. Among the postage stamp kept in the stock of mail offices for sale, if any stamp cannot be disposed within a reasonable time, the matter should be reported to the superintendent of RMS. Rule number 18. In record offices, one key of the safe will be retained in the custody of the head record officer and the other in that of the accountant. Rule number 19. In single-ended record or sub-record offices, the keys of both the locks of the safe will be retained in the custody of the sub-record officer. Rule number 19. Items to be supplied to a set of a mail office. Number 1, date stamp. 2, name stamp. A day seal and detained late fee not paid stamp. Rule number 20. Each set of a sorting mail office is further supplied with an insurance seal enclosed in a box provided with a lock and key. Rule number 20. The willful removal of a page of an order book or guidance book will be regarded as a services offence and render the official liable for dismissal. Rule number 21. A portfolio is supplied to each set of section provided with a lock and key and bearing designation of the section and the number of the set to which it belongs painted on it. Rule number 22. The designation of the section and the number of the set to which it belongs are painted on its portfolio back. Rule number 22. Important articles which are required for the day-to-day work in the section are carried in the portfolio. The portfolio will remain in the personal custody, which is responsible of the head sorting assistant. In record offices, one key of the safe will be retained in the custody of the HRO and the other one with the accountant. The insured seal supplied to the set of mail office should be kept in the personal custody of the head sorting assistant. Each set of section is supplied with a portfolio with a lock and key bearing designation of section and the number of the set to which it belongs painted on it. Rule number 22. The stationery rate list will be issued by the superintendent RMS showing the quantity or number of the articles of stationery to be supplied to each set of every section and mail office in the division. Rule number 23. The head sorting assistant of each set of the various sections attached to a record office will be supplied by a record officer in once in a month with a supply of stationery. Rule number 23. The head sorting assistant will give you a receipt in the stationery register. Rule number 23. Sorters are directly subordinate to the record officer. Rule number 25. The authority competent to relax the provision of office attendance at RO is the head of the circle. Rule number 26. MS 83 is the number of daily reports. Rule number 28. The daily reports are prepared by the head sorting assistant and it is required to submit to the superintendent of the sorting, as the case may be, through the record officer. Rule number 28. The supervisor speed post center will send his daily report to manager speed post by using the format MS83. Rule number 28. A daily report in form MS83 is a document required to be submitted through the recorded officer by the head sorting assistant to his superintendent. Rule number 28. A daily report in form MS83 is a document required to be submitted by the head sorting assistant to his SRM. Rule number 28. The supervisor speed post center will submit the daily report in form MS83 to the manager speed post. Rule 28. The daily report should be written by the head sorting assistant from the said his error book. Important irregularities and occurrences to be mentioned in the daily report. Rule number 29. Insubordination or neglect of rules on the part of the staff is to be mentioned in the mail list. Rule number 29. Illness of an official while on duty necessitating his leaving of work or quitting the van or failure of an official to proceed on duty have to be mentioned in the daily report. Rule number 29. Misconnection of trains, the mails delayed or not received in consequence is to be mentioned in daily report. Rule number 29. The following are the more important irregularities and occurrences which must be mentioned in the daily report without fail. Number 1. All irregularities reported by telegraph bar fax. Absence of carrier appointed to receive or deliver mail. The mails detained in consequences being mentioned. The receipt or dispatch of special bags. Rule number 29. At all stations, except changing stations, the said about to proceed at the work hour fixed by the superintendent, which will be at least half an hour before the departure of the train. Rule number 35. The staff of mail office may leave the office at any period during the working hours with the permission of the HLCA, with the permission of the IRM, and for attending mail exchange. Rule number 35. The window of the mail van of a section should be kept closed when the train is drawn up at railway station platform till the train starts. Rule number 36. When an official on duty in a mail van is attacked with serious illness, the mail agent or mail guard should communicate the fact to the guard of the train, the superintendent, and also to the record officer. Rule 38. Mail abstract. Mail abstract is being prepared in Form M42 for the transit section and M43 for mails and bags. Rule number 39. Mail abstract of RMS is divided into two parts, mails and bags. Rule 39. The mail abstract is divided into parcel and letter bag. Rule number 39. The total forward bags on both sides should agree in the mail abstract. Rule 39. The mail abstract shows in cases due mails or forwarded bags are received or dispatched short or in excess. Rule 39. The transit bags, if any, addressed to the mail office or section should be opened by the head sorting assistant himself. Rule number 39. The due mail list of a section shows the station and that of mail offices, the hours at which the mails are received and dispatched, and also the details of the mails, and in what cases they will be enclosed in the transit bags. Rule number 40. The KGTB addressed to the mail office of the terminal station is to be opened at the terminal station personally by the head sorting assistant. Rule number 41. The key of the KGTB is to be forwarded in a sealed cover. Rule number 41. The transit bag should be opened by the mail guard or mail agent himself. Rule number 42. Parcel bags that should be entered in the mail abstract and then transferred to the parcel sorting assistants under a receipt to be taken in the registered abstract. Rule number 42. Mail bags, branch office bags, and packet bags should be opened by the sorting assistant. Rule number 42. The forward bags received by a transit or mail office will remain in the custody of the head assistant until it is time to dispatch them. Rule number 42. The mail list in RMS should be prepared by the head sorting assistant. Rule number 44. Protecting bags containing articles marked by parcel post has to be included in the total unusual mails entered at the top of the mail list with suitable remarks. Rule number 44. Forward mail list containing bags for one or more intervening office has to be entered in the mail list in the head due mail in the column TB. Rule number 44. The mail list should be prepared by the head sorting assistant in duplicate. Rule number 44. The transit bag must always be closed and sealed in the presence of the head sorting assistant bar mail guard bar mail agent. Rule number 45. Each page of the mail list should be impressed with the date stamp and signed by the sorting assistant. Rule 46. The head sorting assistant should write up and complete the mail abstract before arriving at the terminal station in case of a section and before closing work for the day in a mail office. Rule number 46. The head sorting assistant of a sorting mail office is responsible that every issued bag received and dispatched is accurately weighed in the presence by the parcel sorting assistants. Rule number 47. The HAS himself open the express mail bag first and dispose of first. Rule number 54. Express mail bags, express bundles mean the mail which should be opened first and taken for sorting. Rule number 54. The mail bags addressed to the section or office should be opened by the head mail guard. Rule number 56. A station bundle is justified when there are more than 14 unregistered of the letter mail. Rule number 61. The mail bags and packets bag made up by the set should be sorted out according to the orders with the forward bags and transit bags. Rule 62. The parcel bags and packet bags of the set are to be included in the transit bag, are to be sent loose, will be shown in the due mail list of the set. Rule number 63. Before closing the work of the set for the day, the work papers must be examined by the head sorting assistant. Rule number 64. Final duties of the head sorting assistant before he leaves the office. He should carefully examine each sorting compartment to see that no article is left therein unsorted. The sweeping, used labels, broken seal, etc. are personally examined. The articles of stationery, stamps, seals and books, etc. are carefully placed in the portfolio. Rule number 66. The description of the sorting case prepared by the superintendent showing the order in which the compartments of the sorting case are to be arranged is called the diagram of the sorting office. Rule number 67. The sorting assistant is also responsible for the preparation of station bundles in the manner prescribed for all POs for which there are more than 15 paid or unpaid and insufficiently paid station bundles of the unregistered letter mail. Rule number 67. In sets where 2 or more sorting assistants are employed, the senior-most sorting assistant will be responsible for the performance of general duties. Rule number 67. A sorting assistant will be considered unfit for his post if he missent articles regularly which are clearly and legibly addressed. Rule number 68. The station and territorial bundles received for onward transmission should be placed unopened in the bags in which they are to be forwarded. Rule number 72. At present, AIMPC, Automatic Mail Processing Center, functioning at Mumbai. Rule number 79. The registration sorting assistant is responsible for the receipt, custody, sorting and dispatch of all mail bags. Rule number 80. He is also responsible for the received, custody, sorting and dispatch of register articles also. Rule number 80. The register abstract is a register for recording the receipt and issues of the register article. Rule number 81. The total of both sides of the abstract should agree and it should be signed by the mail agent. Rule number 81. The fee for a register article which has been delivered by a post office in the same town is presented with a revised address for registration. A fresh registration fee is payable, but no additional postage should be charged on the article unless it has been opened. Rule number 83. If an article is presented in a mail office for registration and it is believed to contain anything, the insurance of which is compulsory, it should be refused for registration. Rule number 83. Money order bundles invoiced at the foot of the register list will be received in register bags. Rule number 86. Each MO bundle should be opened by cutting the thread, and the number of money orders contained in it should be verified with the number noted on the top slip at the top of the bundle. Rule number 86. In mail offices, the money order bundles are invoiced at the foot of the register list. Rule number 86. In mail offices, the money order should be sorted according to the sorting list. Rule number 86. In a mail office, the sorting assistant should make a station MO bundle wherever the number of money orders for a particular section is 6 or more. Rule number 86. If the value of the money order exceeds Rs 400, it is called as a high value money order. Rule number 87. The registration sorting assistant should make a station MO bundle wherever the number of high value money orders for a particular station is 2 or more. Rule number 87. If there are 6 or more money orders for a particular post office, they should be bundled separately, addressed to the post office and marked as station. Rule number 87. High value station MO bundle is justified when the number of HUMO for a particular station exceeds 1. Rule number 87. Forward register bundle should be treated as a single register article. Rule number 88. In a mail office, when the work is not going on, the registration sorting case must be locked and the key should remain with the registration sorting assistant. Rule number 88. If a register article is presented for booking at the counter of mail office on Sunday, it will be accepted with late fee in addition to the normal fee. Rule number 89. In the mail office, insured checklist is to be maintained by the insured registration PA. Rule number 92. The supervisor of the Computer Registration Sorting Center, that is CRC, is responsible for the timely opening of the set, maintaining the master data for the entering dispatch, opening of bag allocation, closing of bag allocation. Rule number 93. The set master relating to CRC means the number of each working set in the CRC. Rule number 93. The role and importance of the system administrator in the CRC, Computer Registration Sorting Center. He will be responsible for the maintenance and security in the functioning of the system by keeping the secrecy of his own password and also ensuring proper maintenance of password of all other officials working in the CRC. He will be responsible for the generation of MIS, Management Information System, reports such as sorter report, set-wise report, booking office for delivery office report, transmission report, keying capacity report, forced closed remark report, and login logout report. He will be responsible for the maintenance of INI settings for modern transmission and periodical backup, for restore of data and cleaning up of records. Rule number 93. Mail agency master related to CRC means that it contains agencies, details of MMS and sections for carrying bags closed in the CRC to other officers. Rule 93. Beat master related to CRC means that it contains details of beats covered by each delivery office. Rule 93. The in charge of CRC will be system administrator. Rule 93A. Supervisor CRC will exercise all the options in CRC for system administrator in his absence. Rule 93A. The system administrator CRC will be responsible for the maintenance and security in the functioning of the system by keeping secrecy of his own password and also ensuring proper maintenance of password of all officials working in the CRC. Rule 93A. The system administrator CRC will be responsible for the security of master data fed in the system. Rule 93A. System administrator CRC will enter the master data as per the memo of distribution of work for each set. Rule 93A. System Administrator CRC will be responsible for the generation of MIS reports such as sorter report, etc. Rule 93. System Administrator will be responsible for the generation of set-wise report, booking office, delivery office report, transmission report, keying capacity report. Rule number 93A. Forced closed remark report, login, logout report will be done by the System Administrator CRC. Rule 93A. Maintenance of INI setting for modern transmission and periodical backup, restore data and cleaning up of record will be done by the System Administrator CRC. Rule number 93A. Supervisor CRC is responsible for the day-to-day functioning of the SED in which he is working. Rule 93A. Supervisor CRC will be responsible for the timely opening of the SED CRC with the allotted available RS as rule number 93. Whenever there are two or more issue letters for dispatch from one post office to another, the Office of Dispatch will close them in an issued bundle addressed to the latter. Rule number 90. The Supervisor CRC will make RFCA allocation according to the number of available RFCAs. Rule number 93A. Supervisor CRC will make the opening of bag allocation according to the bag received including the extra bags. Rule 93A. Supervisor CRC will maintain the master data for the interim dispatch and ensure the timely dispatch of all bags including the interim dispatch as per the schedule. Rule 93A. Supervisor CRC will also verify the issued checklist submitted by the RFCAs with all the reports generated and abstract of the RFCAs. Rule 93A. The parcel sorting assistant is responsible for the receipt, custody, sorting and dispatch of parcel mail articles. Rule 94. The transit bags must always be closed and sealed in the presence and under the direct supervision of the mail assistant. Rule number 94. The parcel sorting assistant should bring to the notice of the head sorting assistant and irregularities noticed by him in parcel branch and prepare his work papers correctly and completely in all respects. Rule number 94. The parcel abstract is maintained and completed by the parcel sorting assistant. Rule number 97. The blank parcel list received from opening of a mail bag will be handed over to the parcel sorting assistant, will be entered in a separate mail list and transferred direct to the parcel sorting assistants under accounts. Rule number 99. Parcel sorting case must always be kept locked when the work of the sorting is not going on and the key must remain with the parcel sorting assistant. Rule number 101. When no mail bag is closed for office for which a blank parcel list is to be issued, the BPL should be dispatched by entering in the mail list dispatched for that office. Rule number 102. The parcel list received should be stamped, stitched together in the order in which they are entered on the receipt side of the abstract and attached to the abstract. Rule number 103. The handbags, briefcases and rolls of bedding of other officials in the mail van are suitably placed away from the working area. Rule number 105. Transit mail office is situated on a line of through mail communication and receives and sort bags intended for office in advance without opening. Rule number 111. Computerization of the transit mail office facilitates a proper watch on due mails and estimation of the extra mail received. Reduction of paperwork. More clarity entries made in the mail list. Rule number 115. The abbreviation of CTMO stands for Circle Transit Mail Office. Rule number 115. The work connected with the receipt, custody, sorting and dispatch of articles posted and are closed mails in the mail van is mail guard. Rule number 115. Before quitting the van, the mail agent should replace books, seals, stamps, etc. in the portfolio. Rule number 115. The office facilitates the location of any bag that would have passed through the office is transit section. Rule number 115A. IP is the overall in charge of the computerized TMO. Rule number 115A. System administrator will enter master data as per the memo of distribution of work of each set. Rule 115A. System administrator will be responsible for the generation of MIS reports, sorting wise, set wise, PO wise, class wise, sector wise, mail wise, total wise, etc. Rule number 115A. System administrator will be responsible for the maintenance of INI settings for modern transmission and periodical backup or restoration of data. Rule number 115A. Head mail agent is the overall in charge of the computerized TMO in the absence of the system administrator. Rule number 115A. Head mail agent will also reopen the TBs closed by the mail agent for the inclusion for deletion of bags included in the TBs. Rule number 115A. In case of non-arrival, non-dispatch of regular transport, head mail agent will reallocate the receipt and dispatch in CTMO. Rule number 115A. Head mail agent will forward the bag that are to be forwarded to the next set as per the allocation sector wise bar mail agent wise in the computerized transit mail office. Rule number 115A. SRO can order when necessary the sorting assistant to do overtime duty in a set or section. Rule number 116. The SRO may permit mutual exchange of duties between the sorting assistant so long as it does not involve any extra expenditure. Rule number 116. Arrangement register is a record maintained in the prescribed form by each record office by SRO. Rule number 120. An extract from the daily report should be furnished by the record officer to the head sorted assistant of every set of the mail office to section. Rule number 120. The record officer should issue work papers of the previous trips. Rule number 126. The record officer should take over the empty bags brought back from the previous trips and issue bags for the next trips. Rule number 126. The record officer should communicate to the sorting assistant's order received from the superintendent or the head of the circle regarding the changes in the sorting list and other matters. Rule number 126. Daily reports of sets will, after examination in the prescribed manner, be stamped and signed and forwarded along with and entered in the daily report to the superintendent. Rule number 129. Checklist attached to the daily reports will be detached and forwarded by first mail to superintendent or first class postmaster concerned by record officer. Rule 129, Volume 7. All communication received from the superintendent calling for explanation of irregularities committed by sorting assistant are sent to the record office for delivery to the persons concerned through delivery book. Rule number 136. The work papers of the mail office should be put up in a quarterly bundle. Rule number 138. The record officer is required to submit a daily report to the superintendent. The report should be accompanied by the daily reports of the head sorting assistant and mail agents of the section attached to the record office and by the sorting assistants. Written explanations, if any, of irregularities committed by them. Rule number 141. The following irregularities may occur. They must invariably be noted in the record officer's daily reports. Number 1. Non-attendance or late attendance of a sorting assistant at the record. negligence on the part of a sorting assistant as evidenced by the members of the complaints received against him or by careless preparation of work papers. Loss of sorting assistant's metal token or sorting list. Loss of or damage to any article supplied to the set. These 4 items comes under the Rule 141. The record officer is required to submit a daily report to the superintendent. The report should be accompanied by the daily reports of the HSA and mail agents of the sections attached to the record office and by the sorting assistants. Written explanations of irregularities committed by them. Absence of a sorting assistant, mail guard, or van attendant from the said proceedings on a trip should be reported to Superintendent IP, Rule number 141 of Volume 7. Absence of a sorting assistant, mail guard, or van attendant from the said proceeding on a trip should be reported by the record officer to Superintendent, Rule number 141. Non-attendance or late attendance of a sorting assistant and the attendance at the record office should be reported by the record officer, Rule number 141. Negligence on the part of a sorting assistant or careless preparation of work papers should be reported by the record officer in the daily report, Rule 141. Loss of sorting assistant's metal token should be recorded by the record officer in the daily report, Rule 141. Closing balance of cash in hand on account of pay and allowances should be noted in daily report by record officer, Rule 141. Permanent advance for contingencies under Head 1, cash, and 2, amount of vouchers in hand should be noted in daily report by record officer, Rule 141-2. On 5th of every month, the head record officer must submit a monthly account bundle documents relating to the previous month to head of the circle, Rule number 145. The memo of disbursement of salaries and TA accompanied by the accountant's rolls are sent by the record officer to the divisional office, Rule number 145. The binding of accountant's rolls in respect of staff from whom establishment returns are sent to Postal Accounts Office and for whom service book and service rolls are maintained need not be in leather but in cloth as they are to be preserved for 6 years, Rule 146. Territorial money order should be prepared when the number of money order exceeds 10, Rule number 154. Territorial RBs for each state should be prepared when the RL exceeds 10, Rule 154. Closing of bags. Surplus L bags, more than 50 articles. Surface D bags, more than 50 articles and 6 register letters. Airmail PC, between 50 to 150 articles. Airmail bags, more than 150 articles, Rule 156. Options related to the frequent visit. The SSRM, SRM, ASRM of Divisional Office of City Division, 3 visits a week to mail offices, each night set once in a fortnight and 1 PO in a week. SSRM, SRM, ASRM of Divisional Office of Non-City Division, once a week visit to a mail office at headquarters, 3 mail offices in a month outside the headquarters. All the sets are to be visited, including the SRO, as well as 1 post office in that place. SRM, sorting attached to mail offices. You should visit 1 set of the mail office daily. Of these, 2 visits will be in the night set every week. Subdivisional IRMs. Once a week, visit to each mail office at headquarters. Once a month visit to all mail offices, including all the sets and SRO, and at least one post office. Rule number 157. Metro Mile Survey carried out in Chennai, Bangalore, Delhi, Hyderabad, Mumbai and Kolkata. Rule number 157. The survey will be done by project coordinators concerned in the respective metros with the assistance of SSRM bar SRM, SSPOs bar SPOs, ASRM by ASPOs, IRM bar IPOs. Rule number 157. Metro Mail Survey. 1 GPO, 2 sub-post offices and 1 end post offices should be selected for the survey. The survey may be conducted separately in the GPO, the head post office and the sub-post offices. The sub-post offices selected should have a reasonable quantity of mail. 25% of the total mail received in the post office is to be studied. The list of the post offices where the survey has been conducted must be annexed to the report pro forma, Form C and D. Rule number 157. All India Mail Survey has to cover home district, neighboring circle and distant circle and home circle. Rule number 157. All India Mail Survey. All India Mail Survey will be conducted in one selected PO in each division. The post office can be the head post office or sub post office. The heads of circle will chalk out the survey program in such a way that at least 25% of the post offices selected are in rural areas. The post offices selected should receive a reasonable quantum of mail. At least 25% of the article received in the post offices should be taken for the study. Rule number 157. Live mail survey is carried out in monthly. Rule number 157. Sample survey of mails will be carried out in respect of metro channel in the cities of Chennai, Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Hyderabad and Bangalore by project coordinators. Rule number 157. Live mail survey. The survey is conducted in one delivery PO in each postal division. The PO is to be selected that should have a reasonable quantity of mails for study. 25% of the post offices selected for the survey should be in rural areas. At least 25% of the total mails received in the PO selected is to be studied. Rule number 157. A register called Unposted Register should be maintained in each mail office, which will show the details of article received, transferred from the previous set, received in the set, disposed of in the set and transferred to the succeeding set. Rule number 157. The postal store depot bag situated at circle headquarters are termed as a circle bag office. Rule 161. The postal directorate D section will function as a central bag office. Rule 161. A report of bag balance in the pro forma will be submitted by each UBO unit bag office to its district bag office, CBO daily, and by each DBO to its weekly. The circle bag office will send a monthly report of balances in the pro forma on 5th of each month to the central bag office, that is D section of the postal directorate. Each divisional superintendent PO and RMS will issue due bag list in Form MS 74 in 2 parts for each office bar set of mail office and section once in a year. The list to be corrected up to 31st October that should be issued 15th November. Rule number 161. The minimum and maximum number of bags which an office will be authorized to keep will generally be mentioned in the special error book. Rule number 161. The minimum and maximum number of bags which an office will be authorized to keep will generally for unit bag offices and district bag offices. Minimum number of bags required for dispatch per day plus 10% and maximum, that is minimum plus 25% in case of surplus offices which receive more than bags they can dispatch. and minimum plus 3 times the difference between the receipt and dispatch in case of deficit officers, which dispatch more bags than they receive. For circle ballot office, a minimum number of bags required for dispatch per day, plus 10% of surplus officers, and 4 times the number of bags dispatched in case of deficit officers, and maximum no limit. That is Rule 161. In special bags, after getting the TB order from the superintendent, only camp article of the letter mail be included in special bags. Rule number 2 and 3 of Appendix, Volume 7. Issued VP and parcel mail articles and money orders, which cannot be included in a special camp bags, will be dispatched to the concerned post office, by which the addressee is or can be served at a time. Rule number 2 and 3 of the Appendix. SRM issues the TB order. The present system of bag accounting was introduced with the object of cutting down the circulation of empty bags to the minimum possible, ensuring adequate working stocks of bags in each office, ensuring that the bags are not withdrawn for irregular use or misuse. The seal, cards, labels, and bags required to be preserved in connection with the investigation into a case of loss or obstruction in the RMS should be preserved in the personal custody of the record officer. Register of sanctioned establishment should be destroyed at the end of the year after the issue of the new one. A sorting assistant may be ordered to attend the RO for practice by the superintendent or inspector or record officer. The physical verification of bags should be done by every unit back office, district back office, and administrative office on 1st of April and October every year. The minimum number of bags which a UBO unit back office will be authorized to keep will generally be equal to the number of bags required for dispatch for the day plus 10%. A register of repairable bags will be maintained in each circle, that is called circle back office. The mail bags intended for dispatch during the working hours of the day should be secured by the mail assistant in the mailbox. The forwarded bags should be kept locked up in the mailbox until it is time to dispatch them. Parcel received loose should be made over to parcel assistant under receipt. The postmaster should occasionally examine the paid contents of some of the mail bag open in order to detect error in sorting. The PM should occasionally be present when the station mail bags are opened. The postmaster should frequently and unexpectedly examine the contents of each postman bag to ascertain unnecessary detention. The periodicity of supply of handbags in RMS wing is not less than 3 years. If a postal or sorting assistant finds a register bundle bearing signs of damage or tampering, he should note the irregularity in the error book or notebook and then transfer the register bundle to the postmaster or the head sorting assistant. The white check slip is used only at mail offices for express bundle. Comrades, we have elaborately discussed about the Volume 7. If you are thorough and what we discussed in this episode, naturally you will secure 90% marks so far the questions asked from the Volume 7. So we are very confident. Please go through it once again. Even for preparation of sorting assistant examination, you can make use of it, and I am confident that you will notch the success. Wish you all success. Thank you, comrade, viewers, Kayveeyes. Thank you very much. Thank you.